Hey folks, I'm Papa Boris, and I am ridiculously excited to be showing you Bramble Royale. In case you're not familiar, this is the third game in the Meteorfall series of roguelikes. I love the first two, and this is a closed beta demo, so you can't get it on Steam yet, but I will put the link in the description so you can wishlist this game. I am extremely excited about it. It looks really, really good so far, and I'll talk more about my opinions later. For now, let's just go ahead and get into it. At the beginning of a run, you choose 3 characters to form your squad. There are unlockables. One of them makes me think that this was inspired by Cobalt Core, where you also choose 3 characters at the beginning of a run. In addition, this game borrows a mechanic from Tyrant's Blessing, which is that the character that you pick as a leader changes the team mechanically. So there's a few different reasons that is significant. One is that the character himself gets an extra perk. All characters have a perk, which is like a static ability that affects just them, but the team captain gets an extra perk. In addition, the team captain determines what your feat is. So for Bruno, it's Block Party, but if I make Mischief, then the feat is 1 bad apple. We'll talk more about feats later on. And I believe that's, oh yeah, and then also it changes the name of the team, which is kind of a nice thematic touch. We're gonna go ahead and do the default here. We'll do Bruno, and then stick the other 2 characters that are available in the demo, and we'll go ahead and get started. In the demo, there are 4 progressively more challenging levels. I don't know how many there will be in the full game, but let's talk about how a round works. This game definitely looks like it was inspired by Wild Frost in that you can move your characters around the grid as a free action, and when things attack, they generally attack in a straight line in front of them until they hit something, but if that lane is empty, then they still will like hit the front of the next lane. But what I like about this game is that while it does look very similar to other roguelikes where you have like the lanes and the fighting and you have 4 energy to spend per turn and cards cost energy, this does manage to slay a lot of sacred cows and deck building roguelikes, and I'm excited to show you how it all works. So there are 2 main types of cards. Ability cards happen right away, but the other type of card, the item, only happens after you click the brawl button. This is kind of like the end turn button, and what happens when you click it is that the enemies do everything that they're doing, and then your characters will attack if they have an item. If your characters don't have an item equipped, they don't actually do anything. So this dagger, for example, deals 2 damage twice, and if your character has the dexterity stat, then it also applies to poison. Poison works in a typical way to deck building roguelikes. I think it's actually the exact same way it works in Krumit's Tale, which is that the character takes damage equal to the poison, and then the stack of poison decreases by 1. Now, one interesting thing about this game is that all cards have to be played onto your brawlers. So let's say, for example, that I want to poison an enemy. I don't just target the enemy with the poison. Instead, I have to target the character that I want to use this, and then they will poison the enemy in front of them. So if I drag this onto Mischief, it'll poison this skeleton, whereas if I drag it onto Bruno, it'll poison that one. The reason that this matters is not just because of the placement, but because some characters might have things that influence the abilities that you play. For example, Greybeard gets the ability that whenever you use an ability, or has a perk I should say, that whenever you use an ability you get 2 rage. We'll do that right now so you can see what that is. So what that means is that the next attack deals damage equal to the rage, and then the rage is reset to 0. So you can kind of like stack up rage on him and then do a really big attack. Now, attack is a little bit of a fuzzy word here, but it means attacking with an item or just using an ability that deals damage. So for example, each of these skeletons is hitting Bruno for 5 damage. We're gonna use this ice bolt here to apply frost to one of these skeletons so that the damage is reduced. The way that stats work is, again, if the character has the stat, then you get the bonus effect. But one thing I like about this, unlike other games that have party-based roguelike mechanics, is that you can give a card to anybody. So I can have like my friggin' warrior shoot an ice bolt. It'll do 2 damage and 4 frost. The intelligence just makes the ice bolt apply 2 extra frost. So now I'm gonna do this with Bruno here, and it's gonna do 4 extra damage because he has this rage. So we are going to damage that one a lot. It did 6 damage rather than just 2, and he's frozen, so that his outgoing damage is reduced by 6. Let's go ahead and do an item here. So the longsword does 4 damage, or sorry, 8 damage, but if you have strength, it deals +4. And you can actually kind of see that reflected. So if I hover over him, it's 4. Okay, so it's actually 4 base damage, I beg your pardon. If you hover over Bruno, then it's 8. I guess the damage in the upper left takes into account the damage that you're getting for the strength bonus. Now Bruno, because he's my team captain, he has might. Might is a pretty strong ability. It just increases all the damage that you do. So he has 2 might, which means that all of his attacks do 2 extra damage. So if I put this on, it's actually going to deal 10 and one-shot this skeleton. One thing I do hope improves over time is the intents. This game is a little weird right now with how it handles intents, in that you can't actually hover over an enemy to see what it is doing. Like, kind of. So if I hold my mouse, it's showing him lit up and Bruno lit up, but it doesn't just say this thing is attacking Bruno. You have to hover over this 5 to be like, okay, that's the Skulk who's doing damage to Bruno. It's the one that's lit up. Okay, that's it for my energy. We click Brawl, and remember, enemies go first. So first, this one will attack Bruno for 5. Then this one will attack Bruno for 5 minus 6, which is nothing. Then this one will get 5 block, and then take some poison damage. Bruno's, by the way, he's got the Bold Heart ability, which means that if he's in the front row, he gets 2 armor before the enemy's attack. So this incoming damage will be reduced actually by 2. Now you can see back here waiting in the wings is a second wave of enemies. So once I kill all 3 of these will jump in. All right, so here what I'm gonna do is try to see if I can kill this Skulk. I actually forgot to mention a really important thing, which is that in this game, when you play an ability, not an item, but an ability, you draw a new card, which is just wild. That's one of the things I love about this developer, is he's not afraid to design with guts and do things that, you know, other people would just not think. It's like, oh, well, you can't possibly just let cards redraw because then it'll be broken. But nope, he just went for it, and I appreciate that. It does mean that there's an interesting dimension that, you know, items can be strong, but in addition to being slow, they also don't replace themselves when played. Okay, so right here, we put this cell on fire, which means fire's kind of weird in this game. It means that if you get hit while standing in a fire tile, then you take 2 additional damage for each fire. And I think he's on fire by 4, so that would mean he takes 4 extra damage, something like that. What I'm gonna do here is, since this one's dying of poison, we'll actually kind of just waste the fire here. Basically playing the fire there, all that did was it cycled the card, and we'll have Greybeard play an Ice Bolt, which will kill because of the rage that he has and the fire. Okay, now we'll have Greybeard put some poison on this other skeleton. So he is gonna whack Bruno for 5, but Bruno's gonna get some block, and he already got block because I played an ability on him. He'll get 2 more. It's only gonna do 1 net damage, and then this thing is gonna start getting wrecked by the poison. Okay, so we'll just keep on raging Greybeard. This thing's ready to die of poison, and now I think would be a good time to stick this hat on somebody so that next turn we get 2 extra energy. We'll also put this on just to use it up because it's not very good. And then I would put this on, but I don't want to waste Mischief's critical ability, so we're going to hold on to this actually and just press the Brawl button. That'll let the skeleton whack our fighter for 3 more damage and then die of poison. Actually, he couldn't die because Greybeard used the sword. Actually, I did waste Greybeard's rage by doing that, but that's fine. When the last wave comes on, Bramble will introduce some kind of a thing. So if you use a strength card, you get ejected for a turn, which can be bad or not, kind of just depending on the circumstances. So now let's talk about Mischief. So what this means is that the next card that you play deals double the damage. So if I did give these twin daggers, instead of doing 2 damage twice, Mischief would do 4 damage twice, and then also apply poison a couple of times. What I'm gonna do here is put some fire on the skeleton square, so that the skeleton takes extra damage from all incoming attacks, and then we'll give Mischief this dagger. So she'll kill this skeleton and apparently also damage that one. Now, over here, we have Bruno getting hit, but Mischief's getting hit for more, so I'll give her the armor this time. And I think we'll just still put on this wizard hat just to get extra energy next turn, and we'll give Bruno the sword because we have nothing to do and I don't want him to get ejected. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the feats. Okay, so the way that feats work is that they give you a certain challenge, like collect 12 total block over the course of a fight. And if you manage to achieve this, then you get a permanent reward for the rest of the fight. It's really cool. So a lot of deck builders will have, like, you know, artifacts or whatever. They give you some kind of static benefit. In this game, you have to work for it in every fight. So if you want all your allied brawlers to get +1 might and have extra damage in all their attacks, then you gotta work at it and make sure that you're getting all that block. Now this is the feat that you get for picking Bruno as your team captain. So it's kind of a basic one. The completion is helped by the fact that Bruno gets 2 free armor every turn. So you don't have to just play block cards. You will eventually get it with Bruno by himself. And then also the reward is kind of mild. 1 extra damage is not a super huge deal in this game as we start pulling off some crazy combos. In any case, let's go ahead and cash out. We're gonna put fire on this face so that this guy takes extra damage. And then I think this bolt is probably gonna kill him because of the fire and because of Greybeard's rage. And then over here, I think we'll just put a bunch of poison on this guy. Oh, look, we get to freeze him again. And with rage, that'll probably kill him. Yep. So a first fight's pretty easy. In the demo, every single fight that you win gives you 100 caps. And let's talk a little bit about what happens in between fights. First, that pops open and you get to pick a card or skip. So here we have stacks of, okay, what this does is it makes it so that the next time that enemy takes damage, you deal damage equal to the number of charge stacks and then you remove it. So what this does is it makes everybody take 4 damage later on when they get hurt. And one significant thing about this actually is the fact that since it's an AoE, the way that upgrades work in this game, just the fact that it targets all enemies can be pretty significant. This thing is deal damage equal to your block and your armor, which is like block but doesn't go away. And this lets you prematurely trigger the poison on a brawler. Let's go for the poison here. And now, after the first fight, you also get to choose a feat. So this is another one of the things like what we started with, where it's a little challenge, and if you accomplish it, then you get a reward for the rest of that battle. So we've got somebody dies. Okay, then everybody else gets 4+ damage. Deal 10 damage in a single attack, which is very doable with Greybeard's rage. And then, wow, all opponents take double damage next time. Nice. Or you can pass a turn and get maximum +1 energy. Let's go ahead and try the big hitter. I'm not super bummed about it if I don't get it. We'll just give it a shot. Now this part was definitely inspired by Wild Frost, where you get to choose one of 2 paths, and then you get bonuses depending on which path you choose. So here, we can either clone a card or increase max HP, buy wild cards, or go to the store and buy cards. What I think I'm going to do is go in the other direction, because I really like the training and the oracle. So we're going to get 50 caps. We're going to get to give somebody a perk, and we're also going to get just to remove a card from the deck. For removing cards, I like to remove this longsword. It's just bad. 4 damage is not great in this game, and it's an item, so it doesn't cycle. So we'll just get rid of that and move on with our day. Then we're gonna grab 50 free caps here, and let's go train. So the way training works is that you pick a character, and you get an extra perk on that character. In addition, you also get a pack of cards, and the pack of cards is guaranteed to have at least 1 card matching the character's stats. Now, regardless of what I might do personally, let's go ahead, since we have Bruno as our team captain, let's go ahead and train him and see what happens. So this is every ally gets a rage at the start of each turn. Ooh, you get a thorn every time you're damaged, and thorns deals damage to enemies who hit you. Or you just get 2 after each round. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I think, is try the thorny approach. So he'll hurt the enemies that hurt him. So we'll see if we can maybe pick up some more block cards to support this. Okay, we have Shield Slam, deal damage equal to your block and armor, but no real ways of getting block or armor. This gives you a ward and armor. Oh, interesting. So it's like block, but it doesn't go away. Now, if you get hit, of course, it does go away, but this does give you the chance to stack up some armor, perhaps. Okay, we'll try this and see how that goes for us. Now, we're out of things to do. So unlike in Wild Frost, you do get to do things in any order, and you can even like go to a shop, leave, and come back if you haven't used it up fully. Let's go ahead now and take a look at our next fight. All right, so this will be a more challenging set of enemies. And there's more enemies in the second wave as well. You can see there's 4 enemies waiting in the wings. All right, so what this one's gonna do is get the, I think that's 3 might. And then over there where it says War Caller, when she takes damage once per turn, her allies get rage. So you wanna try to kill her ally first and then kill her. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna apply some poison to this goblin. Let's put Bruno in front where Bruno belongs. Give him some armor. I don't need to worry about mischief because this enemy's not attacking at this moment. We are going to put some fire onto this gobloid square, and I'm also gonna freeze him so he does less damage to Bruno. Oh, we did do 10 damage because of the rage, right? Oh, the rage and the fire. Okay, so great. So now we've got all opponents are vulnerable. Well, maybe I should have timed that a little bit better, but now when this character gets hit, she's gonna get hit for double damage. And he just took a bunch of poison damage and died. All right, so I think this move is pretty straightforward here. We're going to whack her with the sword, so she'll die. I'll give Bruno some armor because he's about to get whomped, and then we'll just take 2 energy for next time. Okay. So he's got some thorns. Next time someone hits him, he'll be doing a little bit of payback, which is great. All right, and now we have our final wave. So this is a little mini boss here, Warlord Wagyu. And this is one of the ones where it's a little bit complicated to understand what he's doing exactly. So he's raging. Apply stupid, so it negates the effect of card upgrades. I don't think anyone, when does this apply? Each turn. Okay, so not yet, apparently. We have 6 energy thanks to our wizard hat on the previous turn. And what I want to do now is kill this gobloid and then use Mischief's critical on this dagger to just try to go kablamo on Warlord Wagyu as soon as possible. So how are we going to pull this off? Well, let's start by putting some poison on this one. Let's move Mischief over here where she's not getting as badly hurt and put some block on Bruno. We're going to keep on poisoning this one. And let me see. So if I trigger the poison right now, can I don't think I can preview whether that will actually work or not. Let me just maybe set this thing on fire so it can die of the poison. Now, we can get ejected here, and I actually don't mind. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I will just allow Greybeard to get ejected. So we're gonna freeze the mini boss so you can see what happens. He just goes out of the battlefield. It's not a huge deal. And then I don't actually care about anything else because you're dying anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and just collect a couple extra energy for next turn. We're using Mischief's life as a resource here. You got Mighty, so that's gonna be a problem pretty soon. And then you die of poison. Okay, so now my concern is what's gonna happen in this lane. We're getting a lot of wompage going on here, but let's get Mischief over here and let's apply the twin daggers onto this warlord. So you can see it's gonna get hit for a lot because, well, not entirely sure why that is. Oh, because she's just attacking twice and it's got a lot of poison. Okay, so right now he doesn't have any poison, so doing this wouldn't actually accomplish much. Bruno and Greybeard are both about to die. That is definitely a problem. One thing to note is that it's okay if someone dies. As long as you manage to win the fight, you're fine. Let's go ahead and give him some Iron Skin so at least he survives. Greybeard might need to bite it, but can I save Greybeard? The answer is yes. Let's go ahead and kill this raging goblin here. Or freeze the raging goblin. Oh, yeah, you're still dying because you're still hitting for 10. Okay, well, that is a little bit of a problem. But what we're going to do here, I think, is just slap a longsword onto Bruno so that this boss will die. Now, Greybeard's going down. We got our +1 damage. Yes, she attacks twice. I should have frozen her. That was just a mistake. I see this is one of those things where, like, I didn't realize she was attacking 2 times. So if I had frozen her, she would have, you know, done 12 less damage to me. All right, so now we are threatened with extinction. So we're gonna have to play this a little bit carefully. Let's go ahead and put some fire here so that that one takes extra damage from anything that we might do to it. Let's put some poison on it. So he is ready to die. Can I save Bruno? I can just barely save Bruno. So now this one will die of the thorns? Thorns plus fire, I think, is what killed it. And then she's gonna die. I'm just gonna try to save Bruno for, you know, Flex's sake. All right, no, Bruno's gonna bite it, unfortunately. But I love that. There's no negative consequences. You just... Oh, they killed each other with the thorns. Nice. There's no negative consequences. As long as you manage to finish the fight, you're done. You're fine. I actually haven't talked about this wild card, and I probably could have used it that time, actually, to really good effect, so I should talk about that next time. All right, we got a new thingy. Deal damage equal to the number of strength cards in your deck. Interesting. That's good and all, but Blastorama, I think, is just ridiculous. So what this does is it deals damage to all opponents equal to the number of intelligence cards in your deck, 3 per card, split among all the opponents. But the fact that it's an AoE means that if you upgrade this, it can get really crazy, because then all the things that you put on it as upgrades apply to all of the enemies. And hopefully we can get some card upgrades, because we didn't do that in the first one. Okay, so here we have, if an ally goes below 5, which happens a lot to me, then everybody gets 5 rage. Or we can equip and use 6 items. Everybody gets 6 block and 3 might. Now that's, or armor. That's actually pretty interesting, because the might will stick around forever. This is one brawler needs to get 12 armor. So this is really strong if you do get some kind of a blocking strategy. I don't think I have an easy way, though, to get someone's block up to 12. Let's go ahead and grab the Dress to Impress. We will eventually use 6 items, and then everybody will have 3 extra damage for the rest of the fight. Okay, so here, wow, we are just not given the option to upgrade cards. That's really interesting. So I don't think got to get that option the first time, and we didn't get it this time either. So the inn lets you clone a card, which is cool, but I would have liked to do that after upgrading Blastorama. So I don't think I want to do that. I don't care too much about the wild cards or the store, so we're gonna go over here. And that means we're really, really saving up our caps. Now at the Oracle, the other thing that I like removing is this, because yes, it does, you know, deal 8 damage, but it, you know, is slow, and 8 damage is often not enough to kill things. However, I think in this particular case, I'm gonna get rid of this Muxplosion. It hasn't really been that productive, and we're not really going for a poison strategy, so I probably should have just not taken that in the first place. All right, so that was the money and the Oracle. Let's go ahead and train somebody. I don't know if I can train him because he already has 3 perks. Can he have more than 3 perks? Can he? Well, let's go ahead and grab Greybeard just because we have that Blastorama, which wants intelligence tiles in our deck. So finding an intelligence tile would be nice. When damaged, apply 2 fire to the attacker. So that means that the enemy takes extra damage equal to the fire, or 2 additional damage. Fire's weird. It doesn't just burn things. It does extra damage when the person standing in it gets hit by things. This is kind of nifty. If you get debuffed, then you transfer a debuff to your opponent, or this just increases your rage. This is actually kind of nice because it means that if I use the Blastorama, it will do 2 extra damage. So I'm actually just going to do that. Now let's see what else we can get here in our pack of cards. I'm looking for an intelligence card. Okay, there isn't one. Maybe I misunderstand the conditions here. So we could get another Ice Bolt. This is not upgraded, but it is a way to just deal some extra damage and freeze things, so we'll grab it. And I may die here. This third fight is pretty tough, and usually when I've played, I've had more upgrades up to this point. It's fine if we die. It's not a huge deal. I was thinking of doing 3 videos for the demo, 1 with each of the characters as team captain, so we'll see how this goes. All right, so this guy has 10 block. It's not gonna, or 10 armor, which gives 10 block, but it does not go away at the end of the turn. And we have this rather unimpressive Blastorama because it hasn't actually been upgraded by anything yet. Now, he is not actually attacking, so we'll stick Bruno here. And I guess we either try to just kill this skeleton, or we get to work on this big guy. Let's go get to work on Mr. Biggles over here. We'll get Greybeard going with some rage. And, okay, maybe I should just do this just to kill this guy. and get the threat off the table. You are just going to wear a wizard hat so we have 2 extra energy next round. Okay. We did this so everyone is vulnerable. That's actually pretty good. It might help us kill this guy quicker. Oh, never mind. He just took double damage from the poison. I definitely biffed that. I should not have been putting poison on him if I was going to be triggering that. What is he? Sitting for 14? That seems entirely reasonable. Okay, let's go ahead and stack up some rage on Greybeard. Let's also put fire on the style so he takes more damage from stuff. All right, so now that really neutralized his attack. Should I use cash out Mischief's critical? If I'm not in any danger, I think it makes more sense to save that for the next wave. Let's go ahead and just save as much health as possible on Bruno, and yeah, let's get a couple of extra energy for the next round. One nice thing about that is, oh, interesting. So he actually didn't gain thorns because he didn't take damage, but this guy still took damage from whacking, even though he did it without hurting anything. All right, so we'll just block up Bruno and use this basic Ice Bolt to grow Greybeard's rage. Oh no, this is gonna cash it out. Do I want to do that? Because he's got 8 rage saved up for the next wave, and we're not in any danger. So notice this is not going to use his rage because it doesn't do damage. Rage only gets cashed out when you have something that actually deals damage. Okay, here I think what I'm going to do is just put this longsword on, and we're ready to go. So we're going to be ready to go in this next wave. We're going to blast Orama, and we're going to put on these daggers, and we're going to have an Ice Bolt. It's going to be great. Unfortunately, what I really would have liked is the wizard hat to save up energy for next turn, but that is already in my discard. So we'll just do it like this. Energy does not save over. I love that, by the way, that in this game, if you do not play a card that's not discarded, I really appreciate that it doesn't do that thing that all deck builders do, that it makes you discard cards that you've held over. So here, I think is we're gonna cash out Greybeard's Rage, because this is gonna do extra damage to equal to 14 to all these enemies. And yes, there's another wave coming up afterwards, but maybe we'll just be able to build up more rage then. So we need to do this now. I can't actually build any more rage on him since these have damage, and using them would cash it out. I could do this on somebody and then try to draw into these abilities that could grow Greybeard's Rage more. Do I want to do that? This would be 1 plus 14 is 15. It would not actually kill either of these quite. So yeah, all right, fine. We'll have Bruno, I guess, shoot an Ice Bolt, because I still don't want to cash out Mischief's critical. We'll put armor. Hold up. Nah, if I do that, then I don't have the energy to play that. Oops. Okay. So what was the point of that? What did I just accomplish? Nothing. Okay, we're going to just do this and call it a day. All right. Now here, I wish I had that Scorch. Then I could have killed this. As it is, what I think I'm going to do is just... wait, no, that's not gonna kill him. That's the wrong card. We're gonna have Bruno, so we don't waste Mischief's critical or Greybeard's Rage. Just tickle that thing to death. Now Bruno is gonna take a hit here, but that's what Bruno's for. It's for taking hits. So we managed to save Mischief's critical for the final wave. And now that everything's kind of under control here, we're gonna just try to block up some of this damage and start growing rage on Greybeard. Okay, I've run out of ways to grow rage because these do damage, but what I am gonna do is cycle out this longsword because I just don't value it and I don't want it sitting in my hand. All right, we got +1 might to everyone, which is lovely. Bruno is getting a little worse for wear, it must be noted, but I hope I get my Blastorama back and can get enough rage on Greybeard to just obliterate everybody. Okay, we can't use the dexterity cards. So I think if I put this on, it's actually gonna eject Mischief, which is unfortunate because I would have liked to do that. Luckily, neither of you is actually attacking Mischief. The only attack happening is right here. So what I think I'm gonna do is have Bruno shoot this character so that less damage is coming in. And I want Greybeard to step over here and grow some rage with these poison flasks. I like that about this game is that, like, it really has a lot of fun and kind of messes around with a lot of assumptions about how things work. Like you think, okay, your rogue's gonna put poison, your mage shoots ice bolts, but there's actually a lot of reasons that you wouldn't necessarily want to do it that way in a variety of different circumstances. Now, do I want to? Oh, I can't. I don't have enough energy. Okay, so we're gonna have Bruno wear the wizard hat so that we have extra energy next turn, and we can maybe grow some more rage on Greybeard and do a big blast against the boss here. Alright, everyone gets 6 armor and 3 might. That's perfect. So now Greybeard is going to have extra damage on his attack. In fact, let's go ahead and put block on Greybeard, weird as that is, just so that he gets rage from using an ability. Let's do that again. Now I need to think. I could, of course, grow his rage even more with a Scorch. Who's doing this? Knight of Dogby? Okay, you're just going to totally wreck Mischief here. And I guess I'm fine with it. We could, of course, use an Ice Bolt. So yeah, I think I'm going to do one more ability. I'm not going to worry about Mischief using the daggers here. I could have Bruno take the hit and die, and then have Mischief use the dagger. That actually kind of makes sense. All right, fine. So we'll have Bruno take one for the team. We'll have Greybeard do Blastorama to just myrtleate that thing in the back. And then, oh, so... Wait, you're alive now? I actually don't know. Maybe she was going to do some ability to buff her friend. Not sure. So we're just going to have Mr. finally use her special thing on the daggers. She got might, so she's doing extra damage. She's doing it twice. Life's good. Whack and whack. 12 damage a couple of times is pretty nice. All right, so I really hope I can upgrade my Blastorama here with something good before the next fight. All right, we got some good stuff here. So this deals just a bunch of damage to one brawler, and you also apply 8 charge, so it'll do an extra 8 damage when it gets hit in the future. You are paying a lot, though, for that privilege. Repeat for each dexterity upgrade? Oh, so dexterity upgrades on this card. Interesting. Or Poison Nova, everything gets poisoned, and it hurts everybody. So if you upgrade this, it can be pretty good. I'm gonna grab the... I'm gonna skip, because this, I think, is... I don't have enough of a poison strategy going, and I already have Blastorama. I'm not gonna have enough upgrades before the demo is over in order to actually be able to upgrade both of those cards well. Okay, so Twinkle Toes is really good. Play 3 dexterity cards. Unfortunately, I don't have any dexterity cards. Now, I might get a dexterity card that I put in Blastorama, but you don't know what you're going to get. So let me just consider what I have here. I don't think I want to do that. And 15 non-upgraded cards. Apply random upgrades to all your non-upgraded cards. Well, I have a lot of unupgraded cards, and I do play these Poison Flasks a lot, and the Scorch to charge up Greybeard's Rage. So, yes, we're going to take bare necessities. Okay, finally, I don't care what else is here. We are going to the workshop to upgrade our goddamn cards. Alrighty, so the workshop. The way this works is you're given a choice of 3 upgrades. Notice we got 2 dexterities, 1 intelligence. It, you know, could have been anything. And then you pay 50 caps to put the upgrade onto a card. What I think I'm going to do is grab this, because I am likely to actually be able to play some number of abilities, and then the Blastorama with the help of my wizard hat, and then have that Blastorama do an extra 6 damage. So we're going to do that and put that on Blastorama. Now this is a dexterity upgrade. So now Mischief can use it, and she'll get that bonus, but Greybeard won't. However, if I put Archmage on it, here's the really weird thing about how the upgrades work, is if a card has 2 colors, which is the most that it can have, then either one then a character that has either one of the stats will actually benefit from both of the stats, which is kind of an interesting twist. What I'm going to do here, I think, is just put that on... I could just make these do even more poison and just make this a mischief-only weapon. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. And that's all. We can't get any more, unfortunately. Now, can I see my deck? I don't think I can actually see my deck from here. Interesting. So let's go ahead and... Okay, we get to see our deck by going to the Oracle. Okay, so, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so now either Mischief or Greybeard can play this card and get benefits from both of the upgrades. Now, what do I want to get rid of here? One thing I I mean, I have actually used this sometimes, even though it's kind of pricey, just to kind of save Bruno. This, I think, is my weak link. This right here. I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool that I guess Bruno can do 10 damage with it. Maybe I don't want to actually remove any of this stuff. We'll just play with it. So let's see if we can beat the... What the? Oh, right. I have not gone here to train a character. Okie dokie. Well, since this strategy ended up revolving around Greybeard growing ragey and then blowing everything up with a big blast, let's go ahead and upgrade Greybeard. Plus, if we get another intelligence card, it will increase the damage of our rage thing. When you have health restored, also remove debuffs. You don't really restore your health that much. So some random enemy will just take 3 extra damage when they get hit. Or if he gets he doesn't get damaged very much, although he probably will in the next fight. Now the fire is interesting because you take 2 additional damage for each fire on the tile. So if an enemy attacks him and then Greybeard hits him, then he'll take 2 extra damage per time that Greybeard hits him. Let's just go for the Voltmancer so that we, you know, have guaranteed damage being tossed around. Okay, so we can add 2 copies of Zap. This is familiar if you've played Crewmate's Tale. Not really kind of what we're going for here. Magic Armor. If you had unspent energy, this only costs 1 instead of 2. Or Shuffle is 0 cost with Ice Bolt and purges like trash. This is expensive though, just to get a free Ice Bolt. Oh, it's a 0 cost. Interesting. That would help with the combo. It's an expensive thing. I mean, that's half of my energy. I'm not sure that I'm gonna be using this. We're just gonna stick with the deck that we have and hope it's enough to beat this final boss. And again, if I die, no big deal. We'll do another run. There's some interesting things you can do in the demo besides what we ended up doing here. Although I have a feeling all my videos are gonna revolve a lot around AoE. At least, you know, we'll have a chance to maybe explore doing poison in one of the other ones. Okay, so you're hitting for 10. And the first time you take damage, you gain 4 armor. Okay, and then you are hitting for 5, it looks like, and putting 3 shock on Mischief. Okay, so let's bring Bruno up to the front. And let's, I guess, start our strategy here. So we are going to stack poison, but whomst? You cannot be affected, but once you get a debuff on you, this goes away. You may be more annoying to kill. You are certainly hitting harder. Okay, we're gonna put poison, and I'm really hoping for a frost bolt so that I can freeze you a little bit. Okay, so this is not helpful at the moment. We did get a frost bolt, and that is the basic one. So it will reduce damage by 4. This will reduce damage by 5. I could also stick Bruno here and then put Iron Skin on him so that he doesn't get shocked. That means Mischief's gonna go way down, but we can finally use this wild card, which I never talked about. So wild cards can be used once per battle and only 1 wild card per turn. I only have 1, but in case you have more. They cost an energy, and this one is pretty strong. Any brawler below half health gets 8 HP, so if you engineer it to use only when your brawlers are the only ones that are below half health, then, you know, you get a benefit and the enemy doesn't. I think here, though, we're just gonna keep it really simple. I'm gonna have Bruno Ice Bolt the guy attacking him so that Greybeard doesn't activate his rage, and we're going to have you light this guy on fire. All right, so Mischief's gonna get hurt, Bruno's gonna get hurt, and then we might need to cash out our big explosion next time. Okay, you're just raging over here. So you have 8 plus 3 is 11. That means maybe I should have put some debuff on this guy so that he could benefit from the damage increase by 4 per debuff on the target thing. Also the combo. Okay, so I need to start working on this guy. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna have Bruno go over here. Oh, can either of you take the hit? Okay, you can take the hit, that's fine. So we're gonna have Bruno go over here and get Iron Skin so that he doesn't get shocked. We'll have Bruno shoot an ice bolt on this one so that poor Greybeard doesn't get whomped quite so hard. And I think Greybeard will take some armor to turn on more rage. And what I was hoping for is to get this hat a lot earlier so I could play that with combo. It looks like that may not happen. Alright, so now Greybeard is really truly gonna bite it. So is Mischief if I don't kill this guy. Alright, what are you doing here? 5 and 3, so does Greybeard survive that? Greybeard actually survives that. Okay, so this is the turn where I think we're finally gonna put up this hat on. And we're gonna get ready to whomp with Blastorama. The question is, do I wanna do it this turn or next turn? I got stuck with all these cards, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, we're just all getting hit. Well, how is this happening? Who is actually hurting you? So this is one thing that's really difficult to tell. I can't tell why there's damage happening here. So that's it's not happening there, apparently. Interesting. Does this guy have like a reach card where it like hurts everybody in the row? Maybe that's what's actually happening. Okay. So what I think I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna have Bruno just whack this thing with the longsword and I guess kill it. That means I'm just waiting way too long on Blastorama. I could put Bruno here, have him hit that one. The problem is that neither Mischief nor Greybeard can take a hit from this thing. So yeah, it ended up being kind of weird. I kept saving up for it and then just never actually getting to use it. Okay. So we're gonna have Mischief cash out her little ambusher thing here. I'm not gonna wait for it any longer, and we're just gonna have her do a bunch to this guy. Okay, so we got through the ward. We got some extra energy. That guy's dead. Now I definitely don't want to use that then on this character right now. What are you actually doing? You're not hurting anybody? You're just hanging around? Okay. You're at less than half health, so if I did this, I would actually heal him, which was not what I want to do. I could, of course, just say screw it and do this to heal up Mischief and Bruno, and then kill him with a big, like, ice bolt, but I don't want to have to restart the rage. So, okay, we'll have Greybeard get ragey. We'll have Bruno get on a big whack, and then I suppose Bruno, because he has the might, will hit him just for 2 damage, which is just enough that with the longsword he'll kill it. Okay, now the question is, do I want to do this Iron Skin? And I think the answer is yes. I'm going to do the Iron Skin on Bruno because that armor will survive. And this I'm going to save, I think, for next turn to help the combo on Blastorama. I might not get combo though, is the thing, because it's I think okay, so combo is like 3 or more abilities, so I think this has to be the 4th that you use, and it can't be unless you have something that's free or you have more than 4 energy. Do I have a hat? I do have a wizard hat in here, but I won't be able to play it. All right, we're just gonna pass here. This guy will die. And then, oh great, apply vulnerable to all opponents. That's amazing. Yeah, I guess that wasn't a great feat since there were no opponents on the field that time. Okay, so here they're again seemingly not attacking us, or I guess this one is, but it's not doing very much damage because of all this armor I have. So I think what we do is we make sure at least everybody has a debuff. Oh, that actually didn't debuff. I see. Okay, well, let's go ahead and put some fire on this one square. And then finally do Blastorama. I don't believe the combo triggers with this, but it did do a ton of damage to that one. And we have this hat to finally save up energy for the turn afterwards. I messed up. I should have done this wild card before I hit this thing. Now it will heal for 8. Fine, I'm gonna do it. Obviously, this guy should have 8 less HP, but I wanted to make sure not to miss the chance to heal Bruno and Mischief, who could really use it. Okay, well, this guy is just hitting for 10. Not a huge deal. So let's move Bruno over here to take that hit. Give him some more armor. He's fine. It's barely tickled. And then we're gonna start raging with Greybeard. The question is, do I want this hat? I don't think so. I think I just want Mischief to go ham on this guy. There are, by the way, at least a couple of different bosses in the demo. She is not always the boss. There's also Redbeard who can sometimes happen. Okay, so now what I think I want to do is definitely put on a wizard hat so that we have 2 energy next turn, and we're going to try to go for a big Blastorama onto the boss. Let's go ahead and have Greybeard get as ragey as he possibly can. Ah, now all of our non-upgraded cards have random upgrades. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just put a longsword on Bruno simply to get it out of the way because I don't like it. Maybe I should have actually just deleted it at the Oracle. Oh my god, did my wizard hat get some... Yeah, my wizard hat's not upgraded, so it got a random upgrade after I put it onto my rogue's head. What was it? Okay, can't play strength cards. That's fine because this is not strength, so I love to see that. What is the upgrade on that wizard hat? Add stab to your deck and trigger twice if Brawler has less than... No, that's kind of nifty. I could have actually not healed Mischief and gotten a bunch of extra energy. Okay, so she is charged, and she is applying charge to an opponent, and it seems like she's also hitting Mischief for a butt ton. So what I'm going to do, I guess, because there's nobody with her, I suppose we just Ice Bolt her for a ton of damage with Greybeard, cash in his rage, and reduce her incoming damage. +1 next turn and trigger poison on the target. Nifty. I don't have any poison at the moment, but does she just hurt everybody? Is that the thing? Is that, like, she's just hurting everybody? Oh, this way it's different. I don't understand why moving them makes the difference between either everybody gets hit and Bruno dies, or Bruno just gets hit and no one else gets hit. I don't get it. Don't know why that is. Okay, so I could just hit her for 18. She has 96 HP though. So this doesn't really do a whole lot, the trigger poison on the target, but it's fine. 2 damage purged. Purge means it's just gotten rid of. So it'll trigger Greybeard's rage if I do this. But I think I'd rather actually do it with Bruno just because of the might. And then... Oh, we have the combo on this one. Okay. I think that makes sense. We'll just have Greybeard do it. It's a lot of damage. What is this? Stab to your deck and trigger twice if... Oh, interesting. So I can add 2 stabs to my deck and add a bunch of fire to this tile. It'll eject Bruno, though. I don't think I want to actually get him ejected at this particular moment. Let's just have Mischief, whack her twice, and I put a bunch of poison on. Maybe it's the fact that he had that glow and it stopped from some effect from taking place. That could be why. All right, so we're gonna try to reduce how much damage she's doing. Put some poison on her. This is the one where it triggers twice. And it is a strength card, so okay, I guess we'll do it. Awesome. And I guess she's gonna die here. We'll add a bunch of fire to her tile. And we can stab her. Ah, so close. Oh, there's another stab. Oh my god, the stab is crazy because it's an ability and all abilities automatically cycle. That was kind of nifty. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Take care.